ஹாய் ஹலோ வணக்கம். நான் உங்கள் சந்தோஷ். நல்லா இருப்போம் எல்லாரும் நல்லா இருப்போம். வாட் அ பிக் டே டுடே. இந்தியா இங்கிலாந்து டே 5th டெஸ்ட் டே 2. அதோட அனாலிசிஸ்க்காக தான் இப்போ நம்ம வந்து இந்த லைவ் போகிறோம். வித் மீ ஒன் ஆஃப் தி டாப் மோஸ்ட் கோச் who had like 20 years of experience, Muddaser, நம்ம கூட ஜாயின் பண்ண போகிறாங்க. வெரி ஹாப்பி. Even if you guys have any questions to ask between, whichever possible, we would pick up those questions. So if you have any questions, please leave in the comments. So when he is joined, I'll pick up those questions and put it to him, or if there is any question to us in total or to me in specific, you can do it either way. Let me again try calling Muddaser. Yes, now he went onto the car and that looks fine, Muddaser.
Wow, so finally we made it. I was literally stuck with the modem in my lap and it still wouldn't work. Clearly I'm in one of those areas, one of those zones where the internet's no good.
No fly zone, like no internet zone.
Exactly, yeah. How are you, brother Santosh?
I'm good. Welcome you once again, Muddaser. We had a lovely chat yesterday. Unfortunately, we could just not have it recorded and put it on our channel. But now here you are. What do you think? You know, with what we spoke yesterday, we'll touch base on that. Let's first talk about day 2 or day 1 and day 2 of this fifth day or fifth test match, India versus England.
First of all, brilliant to see Ben Stokes back bowling. He's not bowled since the Ashes, and a wicket, very first
ball. What a ball!
Captain versus captain. See you later, Rohit Sharma. But look, you know, obviously he needs to be careful. He needs to make sure he's taking care of that knee and not rush back. And I think he did the right thing in only bowling a few overs. He showed the other bowlers the areas that you need to bowl. If you look at the spinners towards the end of day 1 and the first session of day 2, the tall spinners, both of them, Bashir and Hartley, but they were bowling very flat, not many balls above the eye line, bowling very short, trying to bowl into the wicket, and it was so easy for the Indian batters. We mentioned yesterday, brother Santosh, the Indian batters are so good at throwing the spinners off their length, the way they use the depth of the crease and the way they come out and use their feet. And finally, Ben Stokes had to come on. He had to show them, bowl straight, bowl full, try and hit the wickets. And then if you look at all of the wickets, they were all full. Every single wicket. Get full, make the batters play, make them make the mistakes. I didn't understand Mark Wood's short bowling. Okay, yeah, he's quick and he's roughing the batters up. But these batters are not troubled by that. You know, they were so easy. What a shot, by the way, from Sarfraz. Yeah. That Tendulkar-esque ramp shot, absolutely brilliant shot.
At one point, I felt, you know, Indian cricket, Indian players are like possibly looking at this as an net session for an IPL. That's how Gill was playing. You know, Gill was just trying to step out and hit Anderson. And then on the other hand, Sarfraz, if you see that, you know, uppercut or a pull shot for 6, I felt he is also showing he is unsold for the IPL, but he is also putting his mark out. You know, you know what? If you need someone, I'm there. Yes, Muddaser, we spoke about the fast bowling, and I did say as well, I felt England should have not gone for 2 spinners. Rather, they should have had 3 seamers, since Ben Stokes is not bowling. And then here comes Ben Stokes bowling after 251 days after his knee surgery, coming there, first ball, poof, there goes the captain. And I remember the way that you took my wicket last season. It was still the same off stump, but yeah, this was like more like an leg spin, and what you did for me is more like an off spin. You know, it's swinging way from outside and hitting me. Jokes apart, but then what do you think had gone wrong for England, especially in the first session of today?
Again, we said they don't have a plan B. They have one plan, they stick to it, and it doesn't work, and they'll just say, oh, eventually. It's like they're just going through the motions. Let's get through this test. Let's get through this series. It's been difficult. Okay, it's fine. We can lose against India. Not many people go to India and beat India. Let's get this series done and let's move on. That's the sort of attitude we get from their performance. But you know, Ben Stokes has that fighting spirit in him. You know, he brought that out. Just like we said, Joe Root brought it out when he hit that magnificent 100 as well earlier in the series. You've got to have that fight. You've got to have that determination. And look, the way they're playing, it's only going to get you it's only going to get you so far. India have showed yet again that the pressure, when the pressure's on, they can cope with that pressure. They lose 2 wickets in the 2 batters that are set. They're on hundreds. And then look what happens. Another partnership builds and very inexperienced players and a great knock as well from the debutant. You know, what a game, what a performance that in his first game. When the bowlers had their tails up, you know, you've got those big wickets, new to the crease. I'd say the wicket's a little bit tricky as well. It's doing a little bit. You see Ben Stokes' ball, how much that deviated. And, you know, if that followed its normal path, Rohit Sharma was perfectly behind it. Again, that takes his off stump. So to bat on that sort of wicket the way he did, it shows that he has the courage, he's got the ability, but also he's got that, he is able to cope with that pressure. We mentioned Sarfaraz as well, and I mentioned about his technique, and I said his technique is flawed and he can get found out at this level. Had Ben Stokes kept hold of that catch, it would have been very different, you know. But look, again, he shows I found that Sarfaraz was very patient at the start. He wasn't playing the way that we've seen him play the last couple of games, but then you see that actually he comes out and he can play those shots as well. So again, they're showing the England players that, yes, you can play aggressively, but you have to have that cricket intelligence about you, and you have to be very clinical, and you've got to really think about those key moments, and you've got to be very clever in those key moments. I have to say, Santosh Bhai, I'm going to bring in Rishabh Pant here, because Rishabh Pant has been playing baseball for many years. He's been playing. He smashed Anderson all around England. He smashed all Australia, all over Australia. But again, he didn't just get to 50, 60 and get out. He went on to hit hundreds.
Yep.
And you know, that's something that these England players need to do. Especially if you look at the batting, when Bumrah and Siraj had the ball going all over the place, I was thinking, oh yes, get Anderson on. We're going to knock India over cheap. But England, they fought through that tough period. And I thought, now England, finally, you know, you're learning. And then what happens? Spinners come on. They toss their wickets away. Pope, he was so far down the wicket, he could smell what was cooking for lunch. You know, and he got done by Kuldeep. So England players need to learn that, yes, it's okay to be aggressive, but they have to be able to adapt in those key moments and be very precise in those areas.
Over here, you know, I know this baseball, the word baseball has come from some sort of, you know, media, and then it just hang over it. But do you think it is really playing on their mind now? Or do you think it is, or otherwise I would say that, you know, they do not believe in their defense? Like someone like you know, Crawley, you know, who has an amazing game. If you actually look at, maybe he would have scored 15 all the 5 tests, or possibly 4 innings. But then he could not carry from there. You know, a 50 will not do anything in a test series. You know, if you have to win game in a test match, it should have been a big daddy 100, because he's not a, you know, a 5th or 5 down, 4 down player. He is top order. He is coming opening. He should have gone for a long daddy 100. On the other end, Ben Duckett, I mean, they all say, you know, commentators loudly, you know, proudly they say Ben Duckett doesn't like to leave the ball. But it is cricket, you know, it is test cricket. You need to leave those good balls. There is no ego hurt here. You know, if you actually look at, I was, you know, vouching for India to bowl wide outside the off stump. When he scored that 152, I don't know, India played with the ego and they got smashed. But I felt even that innings, if India had just gone for a wide Yorker, he would have still chased it, because that's how, you know, his character is built up in the media, and that is how he is getting stuck into it. What do you think with this media's mass ball and England's players' effectiveness? If you see even Root, what he did in the first 3 tests was just mind-blowing things. As baseball, he tried to hit, and what he did in the 4th test, what exactly Root was playing when he came here last time on a spinning track in Chepauk. He scored 100 for fun.
Yeah, and I think, you know, so baseball has come from the media, and they've put this label on. And when Brendan McCullum and Stokes took over, you know, it looks like that they said to the England team, go out there, express yourselves, be fearless, let's bring in aggressive cricket because it's entertaining. Let's entertain people that come and watch us play, which is all great. It's all fine. Crawley's a really good example that you just brought up there, because Crawley, yes, his defence is good, and he showed it in this test. He was defending really well. Those full balls, Kuldeep was bowling very full. He was defending, and then it's like he thought, you know, I'm bored of this. And then full one, and he went for it, and he threw it away. So, you know, they need to learn that yes, you can be entertaining, for sure. Everybody likes entertaining cricket, everybody likes aggressive cricket, but as you say, it's test cricket. They need to learn to be patient. India have shown it throughout. You know, it's no fluke that they haven't lost in 12 series in India. This happens because they have learned that actually we know how to better ourselves. They've shown in this series. Shubman Gill, he didn't get many runs in the first few tests, and I was thinking, I've always thought he's an amazing white ball cricketer, absolutely phenomenal. But I thought, is he that good at test level? I hadn't really seen much of him before. And then look what happens. He figures it out. He figures out how to improve as a player and how to survive and how then to score runs. England players need to learn how to survive and play well and build that patience. They need to build that innings as well. With Duckett, okay, he doesn't leave. It's worked for him in the Ashes. I thought he was tremendous in the Ashes. He doesn't have to leave everything. Okay, if that's the way he plays. But, I mean, again, the shot that he got out to in this test, it's so rash. It wasn't needed at that time. Great catch as well by Gill. But again, you know, Pope scored 296 runs in this series. 196 came in one innings. Yeah, one. And again, you know, we've said the dismissal in this test. What is happening with him? And you know, Dhruv Jurel mentioned he reminds me a lot of Dhoni, and he said, "Barega aage." To Kuldeep. He said he's going to go. He's going to advance. He's going to go down the wicket. Very next ball goes down the wicket, tosses it up above his eye line, goes down the wicket. See you later. Have an early lunch. But again, England, they're not learning. It's and dare I say, it's same old England. You know, this lead that India have developed, this is going to be a huge lead. Now we need to see some character and some fight back to try and get some pride back from the England players. Will it happen? We will see.
So what do you think? Would this be an innings victory for India? Or do you see, you know, what happened in the first test? We'll repeat it again. Will we see, you know, something, you know, some exceptional speech from McCullum, and then everybody comes out and then just start blazing another 500 runs, and anything can happen. I mean, that's how it has been the entire series. It's just pendulum, you know, keeps swinging. And if you actually look at every single test match, the day 3 has been the turning point. And in last 3 tests, it has been England on the other side, and this time it is India on the other side. What do you think will happen in the next?
Exactly right. You know, day 3 is crucial, and we said this yesterday, didn't we? That day 3, even in this test match, the way things have gone these first 2 days, the way things have gone, day 3 is crucial. Personally, I'm expecting Joe Root to really turn it up now. You know, he's going to turn up on day 3 when he comes out to bat. Okay, look, India are going to have a huge lead. We know that. Will we see a repeat of the first test? Personally, I don't think so, only because India have shown that they have learned from that first test and they aren't making the same mistakes. They haven't thrown their wickets away like they did in that first test. I thought the lead could have been even bigger, you know, but some of those wickets were very cheap, and they were lazy. Let's be honest, they were lazy, some of those wickets. We're not seeing that now. You know, we've seen partnerships building. We've seen a partnership now for this wicket low down. Siraj can come in, and I'll tell you, if Siraj and Bumrah get together, I'm expecting some fireworks, 30, 40, 50 runs, partnership building from those two. And then it's all on England. Can they bat? Can they bat a day and a half, 2 days? I personally don't. I'd love it if they did. I would love it. But let's be real. It's not going to happen.
I would rather say, you know, they would not look to bat 2 days. Rather, they would just bat for 80 overs and try and score 600. I mean, that's what worries me. You know, if when you say throwing away wicket in a test game, it's not just happening in England team as well. It is also happening with all the youngsters who have come into even the debutants. You know, even if you take today, Sarfraz, after scoring a brilliant 50 in that fighting session where England had that edge, almost taken away the 200, two of them who scored 100 in just 15 balls after the lunch. And then here comes Sarfaraz and Padikkal showing all their grit and stayed there. After scoring a fantastic half century, he came back after the tee, first ball. He could have either left, he could have defended it, he could have come forward, anything could have done. But what he did, he tried tried to score. Yes, cricket is all about runs. Cricket, you get a win with the margin of runs, but you need to stay as long as possible. Test cricket is also about playing longer innings or playing longer overs. If you actually go back and take all the records, you spoken about the first test. Yes, India could have made that as like 200, 250, 270 runs lead in that particular game and taken away the chances for England to come back itself, but then they didn't. If you take, everybody kept throwing wicket, right from Rohit Sharma to Siraj, who just thrown away wickets in that particular test. I remember Rohit Sharma stepping out on Leach and getting caught, and then similar thing for KL Rahul, who was an 85, tried to hit for a 6 and got caught on deep mid wicket, which you will not see someone like a Pujara or a Dravid or someone like that. So bringing it to my next question is like, do you think test match will be played in this fashion? Because the next generation who is into now are more of these T20 players and stuff like that. They would rather not think about playing 2 days and score a 600. Rather, I would play 100 overs and score that 600. What do you think? Where is test match leading up to?
Yeah, just on that point by Santosh, it's a brilliant point. And I think with England, I don't think they've got it in them to survive and to bat, the traditional style. I don't think they've got that in them, and they're going to come out and they're going to look to score the runs, just as they've done since the Ashes, because that's all they know. As far as the future of Test cricket, I think it's in good hands, and I really like the positive approach. However, we keep saying it, they need to have that cricket intelligence about them as well. You need to have a balance. You can't just go all guns blazing and hope for the best. And, if it comes off, great, I can hit 100 or 50 balls, but if it doesn't come off, then that's it. Then I'm just I'm going to live off that 100 that I hit off 50 balls for the next 2 years. They need to learn that actually it's a long game. I read a piece on Joe Root where he was talking about the reverse scoop that he plays, and he said, well, he's got out more to the forward defense than he has to the reverse scoop, which is fine, absolutely fine. Joe Root is a different level. Joe Root is a legend of the game. He's proven himself for over a long period of time, very consistent player. And even in this series, when he was getting so much criticism, English media were hammering on Joe Root. Oh no, Joe Root, what are you doing? And then he comes out and he hits that amazing 100 when the pressure is on. That's what Test cricket is about. That's those players are what differentiates between the legends of the game, or the absolute true brilliant players of the game, and players that aren't really there or won't quite make it. You mentioned Sarfaraz. Yeah, he played a terrible shot. Let's be honest. That wasn't a good shot that he played. He could have easily left it. He could have blocked it. Why try to dab it down to third man when you've got a slip in place? It's beyond me at that level. First ball after tee. But I think he's a good player, and I like what he brings to the team. He's aggressive, but he showed me glimpses in his first part of his innings that he does have that patience in him as well. And actually, when the bowling's tough, when the pressure's on, he can cope. I believe he has a strong. He has lots of experience in Ranji Trophy cricket, and I think that builds that resilience inside you. And that's what England need now as well. England need to have that resilience. Where's your heart, England? They need to show that heart in this game. I'm not concerned for the future of Test cricket. I think it's in good hands. It's entertaining for sure. I think Test cricket is here to stay, definitely. In good hands.
I always say this, even though if it is India versus England or any team for that matter, end of the day, if there is a game going on, it is always the batsman versus the bowler, right? Yes, as a batsman, you always wanted to try and hit and score runs, but you need to think that's what the bowler thinks as well. Bowler wants to try and attack you or get your wicket. So you need to have plan A and plan B as well. As you said, rightly said, I can go aggressive, but do I have that plan B? Do I have that courage to defend if the bowler is bowling in the right area, right? And if I have to bring this point, you rightly called up Rishabh Pant. I remember a new ball, Jimmy Anderson bowling at you. He reverse scooped for a six, which happened in the last series. So things can happen, when you take on. If you've seen this with Jimmy Anderson, even in the previous test when Jaiswal took on, he didn't know what to do. Being a legend himself, at 42, playing 187 test matches, that's cricket about it, right? So cricket is all played here, and it is a battle between the batter and the bowler as well, and you have to wait and watch every single ball. You rightly called up. I'm seriously loving this entertainment, but at the same time, I would love to see test matches going till the fifth day. Rather, I mean, I don't know, because I even say that 10 years down the line, you might say 4-day test matches and a lot of test matches happening in the night as well, with pink ball coming in. And we could possibly call it as weekend test match. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days test match is done. That might be the future. And let's see. Let's catch up tomorrow as well. Let's see who's going to be in the winning position at that time. And for you, from this entire series, what or who would be the one person that would stand out or stood out from both the teams?
You've got to look at Jaiswal. To open the innings, to lead that batting lineup the way he's doing. How is he still young? I think he's still quite a young player. He's definitely inexperienced. Not Rohit Sharma, for example, who has lots of experience. But he shows that when you apply yourself and when you think about what you're doing, and you adapt to situations, and you make it through the tough periods, you can go on and score big. Duckett, Crawley definitely need to learn from Jaiswal and what Sharma's done in this game, what Shubman Gill has done. But I think Jaiswal at the top, he's the leading run scorer in the series, and he's a phenomenal player. Even in this game as well. Okay, yeah, you'd say he got a little bit carried away. He hit Bashir for those sixes. He get a bit carried away, and Bashir, you saw his reaction when he got the wicket as well. He was pumped. But then what happened? Where was that fight then continuing and putting more pressure on the incoming batters coming in? It's like they take their foot off the gas, and it's like, okay, we've got a wicket. Oh, I've beaten that person. I've won this battle. Well, you've still got more batters, more quality batters still to come in. You still need to apply the pressure on them as well. So don't take your foot off the gas and go for it. And we said the other day that there's to lose to India in India is acceptable. You can accept it, but the manner in which you lose is difficult to accept and difficult to take, and that's what England have shown now. It's difficult to accept the way they lose in this test match and the way they've lost this series. They really need to think about what they're going to do going forward, because it's not working. Bazball, from ball one to the last ball, it's not working. They need to adapt, they need to learn, and they need to have that intelligence about them. But Jaiswal, for me, has been a brilliant player.
Yep. If I have to call out, I'm definitely looking out for Bashir, and I'm curious about what happens to Bashir after this series, and it's all shocker. Cricket can bring you miracles, things like that. Bashir, who's playing for some local county, not even at an highest range, and being picked up, and then being the best among England players in the entire series. And then for me, what happens to Bashir from here would be the key. Would he? I mean, I'm sure that he's not going to play a huge role when England goes back to England and then playing against any other team. He might not even get into the 11s or even the squad. But what happens to him, how are they going to look after him, is going to be the key. And one point and one area that where England had lost the series, if you ask me, I would put it in this way, Muddaser. It is like inexperienced batting lineup of India and inexperienced bowling lineup of England, and experienced batting lineup of England and experienced bowling lineup of India. That's how the battle looked up at. Did Anderson did the best? I don't know. I mean, bits and pieces, he was exceptional, but then he couldn't produce some match-winning, spells. That is what has happened. At the same time, didn't England had the bench strength of fast bowlers? I don't know. I don't see anyone. If you see, Ollie Robinson came in for the last test, and he was bowling at some 120, 125, and it's not going to take you wicket, and he's not even moving. It's not going to take you wicket in India if you don't have reverse swing or even a seam bowler. You know, uh, England would probably feel this is a great opportunity that they missed. Inexperienced Indian lineup without Shami. Yeah, even I feel Ashwin have not turned up to the series. That's what I feel. Yes, he had got 20 wickets in this whole series, which is like what, 5 or 4 wickets in a series, which is not what we see from Ashwin. He takes 30 wickets in 3 test matches series in India. So with this attack, they could have won this game without Kohli, without Rahane, without Pujara. Seeing 6 of them getting debut.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. So if you look at India's bowling attack, without Mohammad Shami, you think, "Ooh, okay, that's a big loss." You know, he leads that bowling attack. He's an amazing player. I truly rate Shami. I think he's phenomenal in all formats, especially in Test cricket, though. Especially the performances he's put in against England over the years. In the last series, brilliant player. You know what him and Siraj did in England to India, to England was brilliant. The two of them. So I thought he was a huge loss. When you look at India's batting lineup or the loss of batting, no Kohli, no Pujara, no KL Rahul, and to be honest, I wasn't worried about that. And yes, you talk about the inexperience of India's batting, but the bowlers, it's the bowlers that win you test matches. You still have Bumrah, one of the world's best. You've got Siraj, he's an amazing player, and you know he's going to be some player for years to come. Jadeja's always going to be there with bat on ball. So he's a good spinning all-rounder. Ashwin, a good spinning all-rounder. I think people forget that he can score runs as well. But I think he started his career, first-class career, as a batter.
Yeah,
and then he eventually turned to spin. But again, you said, yeah, okay, maybe he hasn't turned up the way we know he can to this series, but he's still been there. He's still been picking up wickets. He picked up wickets in the last game, and he got wickets in this game. And Kuldeep Yadav as well, you know, brilliant for him. What a story to get that opportunity again after all these years at the same ground of his test debut. He gets that opportunity again. These are all experienced players. They're all bowlers who can bowl teams out, and they've shown it in this series.
Yeah,
it's the bowlers that win you games.
I could probably say Kuldeep has been the out of syllabus for England. England has prepared for Ashwin, Jadeja, Bumrah, and here comes Kuldeep, who comes and rattles England. That's what I feel. What do you think about the England's fast bowling department? Should have they gone for, you know, good fast bowlers rather than, in fact, they had 4 spinners in this entire squad, leaving out Leach and Rehan, who had to go in between. They had 4 spinners. Shouldn't they be having good fast bowlers? Even if you take the history in India, you know, irrespective of spinning track or not, fast bowlers had rattled. Someone like Stein, Rabada, Philander. If you see the earlier Australian team, McGrath, Gillespie, Bretley, even England when they came back here, they had Anderson, Broad. These are the ones who taken wickets.
Yeah, Broad's a huge loss. Obviously, you know, one of England's best. What a performer! A huge loss. The biggest loss in England's bowling. Anderson. Okay, he still has the skill. He's looking for his 700th wicket. But as you say, he's aged now, and England need to start thinking of the future. I think my personal opinion is I think England fell into the trap that India set very nicely for them. They talked about the pitches, and they said, you know, don't talk about the pitches in India if you're not looking at your own pitches, where they said in South Africa. And they said about the spinners and the quality of spinners that they have. And I think England looked at that and thought, right, okay, we need to match them in terms of our spin options, and let's go with that. Let's go with our spinners. And I have to point out the spinners of England. They're not the spinners that India have. You know, Bashir, Hartley, Rehan Ahmed, even Jack Leach. They're not Ashwin and they're not Jadeja. And obviously Kuldeep has shown that he can be involved in that mix as well. So Yeah, I think in India set that up perfectly before the start of the series. You know, Rohit Sharma in his interviews, he's always very clever. People don't realize, but he plays these subtle mind
Yeah.
games with opposition players, with the media. The media start putting it out there. And then you say with Kuldeep Yadav, you know, England they probably were focused on Jadeja and Ashwin, and then Yadav comes in and he just shows the magic. His googly bamboozled England. They didn't know what hit them, what way it was going. They had no idea. So yeah, I think, you know, they fell into that. They should have stuck with their own strengths.
Mm.
It's England should be good version, or they should be the best versions of England and not be a poor version of India. You know, I think that's crucial.
Yeah, got it. So let's see. Let's hope we'll have a very good day tomorrow. Uh, Hoping it shouldn't be the last day as well. It's been a thrilling series. What do you think would be the status of the game next tomorrow at this point of time?
Now, I have to say, I would love it if England could bat the whole, well, whatever length of time they're given, and they're able to bat a day, day and a half, 2 days, and they're able to put a score on the board just for some personal pride. They're not going to win this game. I think that's highly unlikely, but just for some personal pride and to show, actually, look, yes, we can play aggressive, entertaining cricket, but we can also show some fight, some grit, some determination, some resilience. I want them to show some heart now in these final moments of this series. Just going forward, I think that will really benefit them. Just to show, yes, you know what, we can do it against an amazing England bowling attack, India bowling attack. That's what my heart says. My head says it's going to be wrapped up in 4 days. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Let's see. Let's catch up tomorrow. Nice talking to you, Muddaser. Thank you once again for coming. I know we had some technical issues, but thank you for joining us back.
You're very welcome. Really nice to see you, Brother Santosh. Thank you so much for inviting me along. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Muddaser. Whew. So you would have heard from Muddaser, you know, his vision or his analysis of this game. What happened? Where did England go wrong? You know, how could they come back? Will this test match go to the day 4 or day 3? I don't know. Some strong feeling is saying to me that this might end up tomorrow. I don't know. Possible chances, because, you know, England had shown throughout the series they're just gonna go hit, right? When you play aggressive cricket, chances for the opponent is a lot more to get wickets. Let's see if we're gonna see a 196 of pop kind of innings tomorrow, or are they gonna bundle out like what happened in the previous games, second innings. Nice talking to you all. Nice talking to Muddaser as well. So let's catch up tomorrow, and we'll have some questions to you guys as well, right from the start of the video. So you can join us as well. Darshan had some lovely question in between as well. So Darshan, I'm taking your question. I want England to play some actual test cricket and not baseball for next 1.5 days to at least score some runs on board. Good thing, but then will they go back to that? I don't know. See, again, baseball, I keep saying this, baseball is a word given by the media, but I somewhat feel that has gone into the head of each England players in a different way as well. I don't want them to get stuck in that and get rattled as well. With what I spoke about Duckett, leaving a ball in test match is also beauty. You know, that's, and I loved watching Dravid, you know, doing this. I'm such a player, so I don't know. I would love. I love this aggressive cricket from England, but yes, they should have plan B as well. It could have happened in Pakistan, where you know the pitches are gonna be flat as a road, but will it happen in India? I don't know. They have seen it, right? They've seen it. It doesn't. You need to have that. Will it happen? You know, I'm sure in England already there's been a lot of media against baseball and stuff like that. When it went well, it was always good. When it is not, it is bad. But now, if tomorrow Ashes in, if England is going to Australia, and are they going to play the same way? Ashes, they know it, what to do it. I don't know. That's when all these gonna burn out. Nice talking to you. Nice having this conversation, Muddaser. We'll catch up tomorrow after the end of day 3. I hope it is end of day 3 and not end of this test series. An amazing test series. Let's see what's going to happen. What do you think of Duckett after the media critics? Will be a lot of pressure, by that's what I said. This cricket is played here, and if Rohit Sharma has to say about punt and something like that, they mean it, right? They want that pressure to get back to the player. And next time the player comes in, and that should go into his mind. I keep saying this. I miss Virat Kohli in this test series, the entire test series, not because of his batting, because of his being in the ground. And he would have chatted, talked on the face of these players. Pop or Bucket or Duckett Duckett when they scored those runs, I'm sure Virat Kohli would have played some role in it and tried to distract with whatever concentration that they were doing. Anyways, we missed that. We had some lovely new young generation of people coming in. Padikkal made his debut. What a knock! I love the way that he plays. He has that mixture of Saurav Ganguly in him, and he is from my hometown. In fact, he was born there in Edapal, where my father was born. So some connection there. Anyways, signing off for now. Let's catch up tomorrow. Nalla irpom. Ellaru nalla irpom. Bye bye. Thank you guys.